Well, today's episode is going to be a very special one. We're going to be reviewing ChocoPro 289. We featured three matches: a trios match, a singles match, and a tag team match, which I think this one is one of my favorite ones to watch. And also, we got three shows in one day by none other than Japanese promotion Ganbare Pro. I'm so excited because there's a lot of things that took place. The first one is, of course, Transported 2023, that features the more of the Young Ganbare Cup. As you know, that we're still continuing with that tournament. And the second one is, of course, by Katsumura's produced show, opening with him doing a grappling match in a gauntlet match and various other things. And then, of course, finally, I believe we have our last one that had Player Association Performance, which is pretty good. There is no New Japan Pro Wrestling for New Japan Strong for right now, due to the fact that I was unable to see it. But I will make it up on the next episode. And of course, we got some news updates. We definitely got to be talking about and sharing what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. So let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's begin with Choco Pro 289. Opening match is a three-way match. First opponent is Miyatsuba, who is still on the learning curve and trying to get her first win in this match. She faces off against Heats Up promoter and wrestler Tamura, and then finally one half of the Asian Dream Tag Team Champions Masahiro Takanashi. Now you know these type of matches when it comes to three ways, anything could happen. There are moments where we'll see like team ups, or certain moments where one guy will just step away, let the other two destroy each other. That's always been one of the scenarios. But however, Mia had Tamura right where she wanted, but however, Masahiro Takanashi decided to roll her up down by pushing her down on the ground by using Tamura as some sort of a, you're one of those people, like you push them down to side, play a prank, and then he used him as a stool to leverage him to ensure that Mia stays down so he can pick up the win. So he played a very clever maneuver in this match. Second one, we got Arcano Montaña, very interesting, funny mass wrestler from Chile, taking on Hagane Shino. I thought this match was pretty good. I was like enjoying it because, Arcano and Hagane have similar styles, but Hagane is one of those wrestlers you definitely would like to enjoy, because this guy's been in the business for who knows how long, and he is one of, just recently found out, he was trained by none other than Taka Michinoku, and he pulled off his finisher Ranhei in order to pick up the win. So awesome, I loved it. Now this next one's tag team action. We have Chiko Shikawa and her tag partner and friend and once in a while rivals, Sayaka. They take on Sayaka Obihiro and, of course, the legend and veteran Coyote Yonayama. Now, in the back of my mind, here's the thing, what I thought about this match. I know recently Chi and Sayaka have been on a roll as a tag team recently, and I didn't spoken often how Sayaka has grown up a lot, how much she has developed and improved on her wrestling craft. But as a tag team working with Chi, it felt more like she was meant for this. And I did talk that maybe they are in possibly in the discussion for hopefully a tag team titles for the Agent Dream tag team titles. That's something we could talk about. But I look at Sayaka Obihiro and Coyote Yonayama. Obihiro is a 12 or 13-year veteran. As for Yonayama, she is a very high speed wrestler. You definitely know she's going to pull some tricks. But one thing it was interesting is how they were able to overcome two veterans. But the one thing I there was like some misfires from both sides, especially from Yonayama. I didn't anticipate, but it took a double pin by both Sayaka and Chi onto Obihiro to pick up the win. But I did state it that they could be in the talks for tag team title consistency. That all depends if Masahiro Takanashi and Chris Brooks are willing to acknowledge the fact that these two could be gunning for their titles. We just gotta wait and see. We haven't had a strong tag team that's willing to challenge the CDK, not since the Best Bros were the ones that lost to them. But we'll talk about that some other time. Now, our final thing goes on is the Jonkin tournament. I was surprised that Masahiro Takanashi was removed from the entire thing. I was hoping either Sayaka was or Chi were gonna win this one because I know how mostly Chi is, but they were both eliminated. So was Obihiro, Hagane, Tamara, and Mia. Until the last person standing was none other for Arnico Montaña. This is his first time actually winning the chocolate in the Jonkin tournament, so he's very happy, and I'm sure everybody's happy for him because you may never know when it's the first time you're gonna win something like this. So pretty good. I like this. So this, and as you know, as soon as this event was over, they jumped into the opportunity to watch the match between Emi Sakura, their mentor and friend, taking on Jamie Hayter. There's a photo that that was posted on Twitter where they all are watching the match, and I thought it was pretty cool of them to see. They want to see their Master Proud hopefully become the AEW Women's Champion. That's a title that she hasn't held yet, but hopefully one day she can have it with her. So I think that's pretty much it with ChocoPro. I believe it's time for Ganbare Pro. Okay, as I mentioned before earlier in the episode, Ganbare Pro did 3 shows in one day. So each show has a unique features. The first one we're going to be talking about is Transported 2023. All the shows took place today on the 28th. So the event was at the Basement Monstar. So let's talk about the first one. Our first 2 matches are involving the Young Ganbare Cup, which was something that was already been discussed. Our opening match, we have Numitatsu Nakamura taking on Yuki Kanzaki. Now, I don't know much about these guys, but it was a very interesting match. But I did notice how, just to be fair, the camera that they were using was actually not good because it was blocking right in the corner in the one of the turnbuckles. I couldn't barely see what's going on. But from the picture of it, there was a submission move made by Kanzaki onto Nakamura, giving him the win. So Kanzaki gained 2 points. As for Nakamura, 0. Next up, we got Kencho Hashizu from PP Tokyo taking on Yumehiro Inamori. I figured this match was going to be a very interesting one because Inamori, who's a veteran, but decided, but took some time off from wrestling, got involved. But it was a pretty good one because the thing is, you look at Shizu, I looked at his background. He only has 1 year of pro wrestling in him. So he's facing a guy who's already been done that, but Inamari, who feels like it's never too late to go back from the very beginning. Basically, it was a Hashizu actually pinned Inamari with the 1, 2, 3, giving him 2 points, and that's going to be the total of 4. While Inamari has 2. Our next match, we have the Yoshi wrestlers taking the spotlight. We got Yoshiko Hasegawa taking on Yuna. I thought this match was pretty good because Yoshiko has been improving little by little since she took some time off, learning from Yuna. But in the end, it was a somewhat version of a Jaded, as Jade Cargill does with her opponents, that finished her off. So Yuna won the match by using that particular move. Our next match, we have trios action, an intergender tag match. First team, we have Arukaze teaming up with Shinchi, uh, Shinichiro Tominaga and Soma Takoa taking on Yuri, Shota, and Kisuke Ishii. Now, recently, Shota and Soma, they were once-time tag team partner known as Romance Dawn. They're no longer that team, so they separated since Shota went on excursion to the U.S., but now they're opponents. But I thought this match was pretty interesting because it was Soma who finished off Shota with a somewhat version of the Gringo Killer, which is a move that we normally see with Homicide. I thought it was kind of interesting that he used that against it, but that's how it ended. So they picked up the win on that. Next up, our main event for this particular show, we have Tanon Zak Toba teaming up with Ken Oka. They take on Tyson Meiguchi and, of course, our current champion, the Spirit of Ganbare World Openweight Champion, Mizuki Watase. I thought this match was very hard hitting because I've seen how this match has been for Mizuki, who's been one of the strongest competitors in the promotion since he became the champion. But I was surprised that this match ended with a knockout, giving him the win. Well, it was like a bit of a knockout. Then, of course, um, Watase actually pinned him 1, 2, 3. It ended just like that. So I have to say it was a pretty good show. I enjoyed it. So let's move on to the second one, and I believe that is, of course, the um, um, Shuichiro Katsumoto's produced show. I think let's do that right now. Okay, event number 2 by Ganbare Pro. This is the Shuichiro um, Katsumata produced show. Now, this is his show that he produced, and this is at the same place, the Basement Monstar, on the 28th of January. It opened up with a grappling match. Each of them is 5 minutes, but he had picked 3 competitors that he wanted to challenge. The first one is Munetatsu Nakamura. Uh, this match ended by submission. I couldn't tell what kind of submission. Like I said, the freaking turnbuckle was right there. The safety was blocking it, so I couldn't make out, but I could make out that he tapped out from what I saw. Now, our next match is Arukaze, our very interesting Yoshi wrestler. I do know that she does have a judo background, from my understanding, because it's something that I read. I was surprised that she was able to try to withstand, of course, Katsumura, but it was, of course, Katsumura with a leg lock onto her, forcing her to tap down. Now, I couldn't see clearly if it was like a leg lock, but it seemed like it was. Like I said, because of the vision, I couldn't tell. And then finally, his final opponent is someone you guys may have seen in DDT Pro Wrestling. We're talking about Harashima. This match ended in a 5 minute time limit draw. Now, probably some of you don't like time limit draws, but that's how it is. So, um, Katsumura may have won 2 matches, but the last one, he couldn't get the job done. Next up, we have trios actions. Team number 1, we got Yumehiro Inamura teaming up with Shinichiro Tominaga and Moeka Haruhi taking on Yuri. I don't know who this guy is. Maori Kawashima and Ken Oka. I thought this was a very interesting matchup, but I did not anticipate how this was going to end clearly. But until I saw it clearly, it was of course the Yoshis that ended this match on on the perfect scale. But it was of course how Haruhi who picked up the win by applying. I couldn't tell if it was a crossface onto Yuri and forcing her to tap out. So they pick up a very good win. Next up, we have a very interesting matchup. We got Takuya Wada taking on Hong Kong International Policeman, who is in fact, of course, some of you guys may have seen John Cheeto. Now, this match ended in 26 seconds by a chokehold, and of course, Hong Kong International Policeman has demanded for a restart, which it did, and of course, one thing led to another. International Hong Kong International Policeman, if you guys know this, he's a dirty cop, so he likes to play dirty tricks. Somehow he had Shota to do his dirty work, brought out Wada's cell phone and threatened if he didn't put on the handcuffs, thinking that maybe the handcuffs would be the one thing easier for him to pick up the win, but nope, it did not. Apparently, Takuya Wada put him in a submission, forcing him to tap out. So that failed him completely. Now, our next and final match is Tyson Maiguchi teaming up with Joshi Okada and Juichiro Katsumura taking on Kisuke Ishii, Mizuki Watase, and Arashima. Pretty good match, I have to say. I was like expecting it a whole lot, but it did end with, of course, the running double knees by Arashima onto Okada, giving him the win. So it was a pretty good show. I enjoyed all of it. So let's move on to the final show. I believe that one is Player Association Performance. So let's do that right now. Okay, show number 3 by Ganbare Pro, Player Association Performance, also at the Basement Monstar on the 28th of January. Uh, Two opening matches involved the Young Ganbare Cup. Opening match, we have Yuki Kanazaki taking on Yumehiro Inamari. I thought this match was pretty good. Both men were tied in their winning performance. As you know, they had 2-2. But, however, it was Inamari with a submission. I couldn't tell what it was due to the fact that I didn't have any clear vision to see it. It was Inamari who won by submission, allowing him to pick up 4 points. However, this was a bit of a semifinals type match. However, the next one involving Munetatsu Nakamura taking on Kentaro Ashizu. I thought this match was pretty interesting because they went all the way. But however, as you know, this match ended in a double countout. So they were outside the ring while the ref counted. However, each wrestler gets 1 point. However, this is how it ended. Inamari, who had 4 points, he advances to the finals along with Hashizu with 5 points. So basically, it was already set the table right there. Now, next up, we got the Yoshi wrestlers taking stage in a tag match. We got Yuri and Yunamanaze taking on Itsuki Aoki and Moeka Haruhi. I thought this match was pretty good because it showed a lot what the Yoshi girls can do. But in this case, it was, of course, Aoki who is the much stronger one out of all of them. It was, of course, with the diving body splash onto Yuri to pick up the win. Now to our finals of the Young Ganbare Cup. We have, of course, Inamari and versus Hashizu. They went all the way, both wrestlers. I'm like, okay, someone has to walk out. But I did have that suspicious feeling that it was going to be Inamari due to the fact he has a little bit of the experience, has more experience than Hashizu because he has 1 year. I think Inamari has 17. So it ended with a very interesting counter by Inamari applying an armbar, giving him the win. So I thought that was pretty sweet. Now, our next match, our main event, features an 8-man tag team elimination match. This is who was involved. Team number one, we got um, Shinjiro Tominaga, Shota, Kiski Ishii, and Hartley Jackson. They take on Somatoko Kenoka, Shuichiro Katsumura, and of course our current champion Mizuki Watase. I thought this match was pretty good, but however, let's see how this one plays out because so this is who got eliminated in this one. Our first, Shota eliminated Katsumata by over the top of the rope. That was pretty good. And then of course Shota pins Takao, so he was on a roll. However, it was Mizuki Watase who picked up the pinfall onto Shota, giving them the win. Then after that, we have Oka who tossed um, Hartley Jackson over the rope, disqualifying him out. And of course, finally, it was Tominaga with the pinfall onto Oka to give them the win. So I thought it was a pretty good show. I enjoyed all three of them, despite the fact it was 3 shows in one day. I don't know how tired these guys are, but it was really fun. So I think that's pretty much it right now with this. Let's move on with some news updates. Okay, you may have heard already, Stardom has another showcase event that will take place on the 26th of February. As you know, they start throwing these wacky stories that leads to their matches for those particular. Our first one, it's where it starts out with Saya Ida doing some push-ups. Now, however, she gets visited by none other than Chanyota. Now, they both are a bunch of muscle girls, as you know. As you know, Saya Ida recently won the Stardom Muscle contest, but however, Chanyota, who is a pro, does the Woman Muscle Pro, whatever that was called. They couldn't determine, but however, they tried to get Rossy Ogawa to make a tiebreaker, but instead, Rossy Ogawa decided, you know what, let's take this to the showcase. And I thought of it, why not? So that was the first one. The second was a very interesting one. We have, of course, the Machine Corps, consistent of Super Strong Stardom Machine, along with Super Strong Giant Stardom Machine. Seems they're saying something in a bizarre language, but however, somehow Momo Kogo, who, if you guys have been aware or not, I was surprised to find out a while back that she can speak English, and she of course Giant was trying to tell her what exactly is Super Strong Stardom Machine saying. It appears that they declared that they want to have a match against the Grim Reapers, the ones who we've been seeing with the Neo Stardom Army. I have to say that's going to be very interesting. So that's pretty good. Now, the next one, I wasn't sure because it's still unclear what's this about. As you know, recently we have seen how Kashima has been avoiding Sudi on many occasions. The few times that she avoided her is when, of course, she didn't want to face her during the 5-Star Grand Prix. Then again at the Goddess Tag League, and then again at other locations. But however, I think Sudi wants to take it easy on her. I mean, she still wants to have a match with her, but who knows what it is. I will find out soon enough exactly what this is about. Now, if you guys have been aware, I did review the Baka Gaijin and Friends Volume 2. Get ready for Volume 3. So it's going to happen on the 7th of March. It's already been announced that Maya Yuhiki will be making her first appearance. So I'll be finding out who will be participating in this show. Now, if you guys know, there's going to be a Jericho Cruise coming up soon. It's going to take place. However, it's already been announced that there's going to be a title match. Our newly crowned for the CML World Welterweight Champion Rocky Romero will put the the title on the line against Yuya Uemura. So that's going to be awesome. Now, for all you Minoru Suzuki fans out there, get ready. Minoru Suzuki will, as I said, Minoru Suzuki will be coming back into the U.S. for a couple of tour dates. Will be taking place on the 23rd of March all the way to April 5th. So I don't know what shows he's going to. I'm sure we're going to find out soon enough. And finally, Nikki Bella and her sister have been spoken about the recent how to say criticism where, as you know, the Bella twins were not in part of the Raw 30th. I know there's a lot of people saying why they didn't invite them. I know some of you are happy they didn't that. I get it, but we need to look at it a different perspective. Now, this is Raw 30. Back then, there was not a lot of women involved. I mean, we only saw them as managers and all this, but I don't know if the Bella twins fit for that. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. But that's how it is in the world of pro wrestling with what era should be there. I mean, the only female that was there was Medusa, or should I say, I forgot what her name is, but yeah. So it was pretty good. So I think that's pretty much it. What's been going on in the world of pro wrestling? So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, I did not see New Japan Strong with the final week of Nemesis. I'll get to that. I will also review the WWE's Royal Rumble. I know there's some people that have been talking about it on social media. Don't spoil it for me. Now, if you guys are telling me it's not worth watching me, leave a comment down below and tell me that. And I think we're also going to be doing more on ChocoPro, so that is something I am looking forward to it. And if there's anything else, as we speak, we already have 2 shows from Stardom. I don't know when I'll be seeing those, but there will be a top priority once I'm ready to watch. So I think that's pretty much it what we have for right now. So I believe I'll see you guys on the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.